Episode of the NJ Show. It's a happy Friday today. It's a very good Friday. Make sure you're getting your comments in. I'm going to do a little shout out in just a moment. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Are you excited for today's episode? I certainly am. It's been a good build up towards it. It's good to have everybody here. It's good to have TraderXO and TraderSC here as well. They'll be coming on in just a moment. Let me know how you guys are all doing. All right. I'm going to need you guys to really get involved in today's episode. I want to see your opinions and I want to see what you guys have to say. So make sure you're leaving a comment. I'll do a quick shout out now. Let's see who we have in the chat. Who can I see in the chat? I can see Hafuel in the chat, my number one, alongside Liz, alongside Giles. Please respect the mods. Show love and respect to the moderators, okay? Make sure you show love and respect. We've got Martini Time here saying greetings from Indonesia. Fantastic. Indonesia. It's good to see people from around the world. We've got Omar in here as well. We've got Crowies saying hello, Kings. Good to see you. Elizabeth, good to see you. Thank you for modding the chat. We've got Giles. Thank you for modding the chat, bro. Good to see you. We've got Urban. We've got Svetlslav. We've got Mwiti saying, all right, Ledgers, waiting eagerly for Mr. Deviation. Yep, he's here. He's here. He's going to do his thing in a second. Frederico joining probably from the office. Good to see you, Frederico. We've got Joe, Trader Jubba, Stink Foof. Good to see you. Good to see you. Benjamin, Wakas. Good to see you. Stephen, thank you for joining the show. Hey, NJ, looking forward to this one. Yep, so am I. So am I. We've got Gravy here. We've got Inazuma, Doc Puya. Thank you for joining the show, my friends. Crypto Tiger, Manuel. We got Michael. We got Dream Station, Keela. Oof, there's too many of you. There's too many. I've got to stop there. There's too many of you. All right. It's good to see everybody here. Really good to see everybody here. A big shout out to TraderXO and TraderSC for taking time out of their days to do this for us. So without further ado, I'm going to bring them on now. Make sure you're showing love. Make sure you're liking the video. Subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. It does take a second to do. And right before I bring them on, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Binance. Binance is our sponsor for today's stream. You guys know who Binance are. You guys know what they do. I don't need to really shill it, do I? But links in the description below. If you haven't got a Binance account, which is very unlikely, then do sign up using the link in the description below. Also, make sure you are tuning into the Telegram. The Telegram is in the first link. That's the first link in the description below. So do whatever it is you need to do. Keep the comments coming in. And without further ado, I'm going to bring now TraderSC and TraderXO. Thank you for joining the show. We've got a three-way special today. How are you guys doing? TraderSC, tell me first. How you doing?
I'm good, fam. What are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm
Yo,
here,
make
bro.
Doc Puya mod. He's a good pay. Doc Puya message.
All right,
He's a good guy.
Doc
Make him
Puya,
mod.
you want to be mod, yeah? All right, let me do that. Let me do that. SC has given you the Knight of Honor tactic.
He's my personal doctor, man. Puya
He's your
is.
personal doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Doc Puya. If I'm ever feeling under the weather, we know where to go. We know where to go. How you doing, though, SC, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Doc Puya, where's Doc Puya?
Doc Puya message to see him.
XO, how you doing?
Can't hear
Just,
him.
just having a 1 minute silence for the GBP currency.
And Agrowell. Isn't it Agrowell?
Doc Puya. Oh, there we go. I see Doc Puya. There you go. Hey, Doc Puya, you are now a moderator. So, guys, show some love to Doc Puya as well. All right, we've got Hafuel, we've got Liz, we've got Giles, and we have Doc Puya in the chat who are moderating the chat. Big love to them. All right, guys, look, do you know what? I know I haven't got you for a very long time, so I'm going to have to go right into it. We've got so many legends here tuning in. What's going on with this market? What is actually going on with this
I
market?
think personally, I'm in it for a bear market rally. I'll give my reason I've been correct so far.
XO, what do you think? Do you think up or down, my good friend?
Eventually
Context. Context. Is it up or down short term? Is it up or down long term? That's the key point.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, the thing with myself is like, you know, I've not really been playing longs because I know that the short trade is going to be a very straightforward one if I get onto it, and I think the probability is significant downside when we do latch onto that big move down. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a trade to the upside which SC's nailed.
I'm 100% with you. I'm waiting for the big short. I mean, we milk these shorts anyway, hardcore. There's only so much you keep milking it till it's not worth it anymore.
Yeah. I guess with me, it's just a bit of laziness. I'd rather just focus.
I don't think it's lazy. I think you're following your plan.
Following my plan, but do you know what I say? I'm just trying to enjoy life more. I think we've had such an intense 2021, and I've done nothing but fucking short the market in 2022. So it's just nice to take a break, step away. FX has been really nice, man. I'm not gonna lie. From
yes, isn't it? It's been ages. Really nice, like we've been when I'm working. I mean,
you caught a massive move on pound SC. That was a huge move.
I think exact low I bought.
It was literally, I think you caught the swing fail of the 1985 low. Was it the 1985? That was nuts.
I'm in around 1.04-ish. I got in now.
It was, yeah. I joined SC on that one. We both looked at it.
And high fates. It was there as well.
I got in at 105.
You guys absolutely smashed that, for real. You absolutely smashed it. So I guess the question is, SC, I mean, do you want to go first? Would you like to go first?
Let's go for.
All right, please feel free to share your screen if that's all right with you, man. Legend in the chat. Keep the love coming in. Keep the love coming in. I see you, GG. I see you right there. I see you, GG. I see you. Good to see you. Thank you for joining the show. And so SC. Here we go. SC. SC, what do you think is happening with Bitcoin right now, man?
I took a long this morning. I mean, I was long for 19K. I even did the stream on that. And I took more stuff at 21K exactly. 20.5, 21, and 21.5 is my final target within the range. So I locked in those. Yesterday I took 2-day trades, both trial at break even. But for now, I think, is the pullback done? Possibly. So I'll just do my usual. So we're at previous all-time high. Let's get a certain levels in clean chart. Do what we do. So previous all-time high, right? That's the key pivot for now. And what we're noticing is, I mean, even with the ES, I'm going to have to do ES first, I think, because then it'll give context to my Bitcoin idea.
Yeah, 100, man.
Looking at Bitcoin, I mean ES, right? We go to the yearly. We mark out these. Let me check what text message from. 1 second.
Oh, good, oh, good.
Yeah, so something.
One of the ladies in the chat messaging SC right now.
Which one?
I'm not sure. You tell me.
Let me see. I don't see. I'm not seeing the chat. The software we're using, I don't see all the chats.
Yeah, it's mad. We got too many comments coming in, but keep the comments coming in anyway. Let SC do his thing. So we've got ES at the moment here.
So we've got ES right now. So what we're gonna get here is we're gonna mark out this low here. This is pivotal for me, in my opinion. So that will give context to the whole crypto market. Okay, so that's 2021 low. So once we start establishing what our high and low is, we're gonna go forward. Okay, so that's that done. Let's go to the lower time frame. No, I don't roast people for no reason. I only roast if they deserve it. So if you look at it, I mean, this more or less midpoint down here. So once we got that midpoint marked out, I mean, I'm just gonna eyeball it because I can't be bothered. Some of the eyeballing is easier. There, that's more or less that midpoint-ish. Okay, so now that we've got two ranges established, okay, we've got one within the range there and then there. Now, if you think about it, if it's going to be an extended bear market, then it's not going to go down in one go, is it? And if it does go down in one go, then most likely the bottom's probably in close. If you think about it, I mean, see, these are different. This is just a pandemic. Okay, and once it's back to normality, that's a deviation. Okay, that was an anomaly. And then it continued its normal grind up higher. Because why? It retested support. That's an anomaly. And then it continued higher, which is normal. A bear market, proper bear market, in my opinion, I mean, the best I could show as an example is probably something like this over years. How long did that take? So that took, that's 2007 to 2008, over a year, 2 years, 1 or 2 years. Okay, that's going to take time. Slowly. And that's one of those times that every time it bounces, it gives you a hope. So both sides are getting fucked. That's the best way I can describe it, fractal-wise. So in this one, until this gets smashed, this has been dropping towards range low while Bitcoin has been holding the floor. Okay, so while it's holding the floor and now it's ready to bounce, Bitcoin slowly starting to respond now. So I'm still bearish bigger picture. I'm not going to say I'm not bearish, but bearish bigger picture does not mean I'm going to take a long right now. Everybody get the likes up, man. There's 404 V, get to 200 likes. Stop.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right hand corner.
So
SC, go for it, bro.
So if we're saying that, then we've got a range to work with, then haven't we? And that range is more or less here. So logically, comes to range lows, it goes to range highs. Comes to range low, goes to range highs, to range lows to range highs. Now we don't have. Now this could be possibly. I mean, I could mark out 10 different scenarios. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but we're going to go with what's happening currently. What is price telling us currently right now? And right now, it's not saying down yet. Yes, smash below here, then I'm all over it short. I will deal with the targets then, possibly. I mean, I reckon these lows then next, okay, and then we'll see how low it goes after that. Maybe previous all-time high, who knows? But till then, I would assume at least towards here. We can still be in a bear market. I imagine this kind of ripple like that. That can still happen. Okay. If you think about it, if this was a 5 minute chart, you knew nothing what a bear market, bull market was. All you knew is that's range low, high. You could say that's ping pong between this. Who knows? But again, that's neither here or there. That's a possible scenario. That scenario like this comes into play with is if we clear this, then it says extreme end of the range, break and hold above, then we can target then. Until then, that's our objective. Now, working within here, we can say, okay, let's split that up further in case this scenario happens. Okay, so we mark out the half of that, and where's the next logical target to go to? So until this breaks, I would assume buying dips within the range in violation below here till proven otherwise. So let's go down further now and say, okay, what's capping the market? And we can clearly see this is capping the market. Around about, I'd say around here. That's more or less the midpoint, eyeballing it within this range. So now we've identified, we're just focusing within here. Now we're going to focus just here now. So the easy play would be, that's always out there for us, and I would support our Bitcoin idea as well. I'm setting the context for the ES for Bitcoin. Would be if it cleanly breaks and holds above, then we're probably going to go maybe towards here first target, and then here second target. After that, I don't know. I don't care. Okay, we'll deal with that afterwards. Just focus on this for now. Okay, so it breaks above here. That's that trade sorted. It's always there for us. In violation will be whatever the swing low is. I took it above, and those are our objectives. Now, within here, what do we do is the question. So now we're going to focus on this, and more or less we're at a midpoint range right now. So if I was to break this up right now, go to the 4 hour just to tidy things up, we can easily come towards this area, and that will still be a valid long technically. We could easily pivot off of here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to separate our levels up and say, okay, 2s, what do we do? So we mark this up, put some girth onto the line, because girth makes the line stronger support. And there's that. Now, if you look at that right now, give it black because there's no going back. That's a shitty joke. I always have to use that. But yeah, so we got support. Okay, this is quite comp to there. As support, deviation, resistance, sell-off. Resistance, support, and still support. So just like we split the top range up, we're splitting this up. So for longs, it's coming to the first area of longs, which is here really. Where did Bitcoin come into? Which I'm going to get to remember this for Bitcoin. This is support for now, till proven otherwise. If this breaks, then we're on towards here. Okay? Now, what I also tend to do is give it a bit of room for a deviation. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, okay, well, if technically when it broke above here, it did come back below here, but that was a deviation. So, if correct, it should hold this region here. So I mark out a deviation zone. When that deviation zone breaks, then that tells me that we're ready to trend lower within the next range. So if we get a breakdown below here, by default, I'm marking out what our invalidation is for a long. If you think about it, okay? So that would be a shorting opportunity towards this region here if this happens. Till then, it's a long for me. Now comes toward the long triggers. What do I look for? Either I bought this blindly yesterday. Why? Because I had invalidation below here. It's paid off. Those stops are break even right now. Those are aggressive plays. I do smaller size. Then for the main plays where I put the size on, okay, more confirmation would be, okay, we're dealing with in here. Let's deal with what we've got to work with. So is everybody clear so far? I'm marking out how I'm going to approach the ranges, how I break down the ranges, why I'm thinking of them as ranges, the different scenarios, what gives me the triggers for the scenarios. You did basically my fucking trade plan. Shouldn't be giving away too much.
Free alpha. Free. I didn't even expect this myself.
So let's continue now. So I think, I mean, yesterday, I mean, if this was a low, okay, what increased the probability? Now, I'd rather wait for the futures open and maybe wait for next week. I mean, we could get a ripper today, like last week or something. But Fridays, I don't like trading Fridays. I mean, I made a lot of money this week, early in the week, and I'm just chilling today, really. But the show must go on. So I mean, what I'm doing is I'm looking at this range and thinking, okay, what is the range of yesterday? So this is the high of the day yesterday. Is there any significance within that? And I mean, not really, but if you take the initial high for the day, that's the initial range high, 50% is capping the upside. So let's mark out an easy play for this. Scenario one is this is a low. If we get a run of here and then deviate back above, that was the low set for the day, and then deviate back above, we've then got a trend line break as well. Okay, if we're going to look at it that way, that's my long trigger then. Invalidation, clean break below here. Target 1, which is the midpoint of yesterday, which is acting as our high of the day resistance. Target 2 would then be around this region here, and target 3 there, and then there. That's playing within the range. Now, what if it goes up from here and doesn't give us the deeper pullback? Okay, well, we've already got the SR level, the pivot set. Okay, I got today's Friday. What's the 24th? 24th. Do we have a Monday's range to work with? Nah, fuck that. Monday range shit for this week. If I take the intra-week range, low to high of the week, fuck that. Okay, so what we got here is more intraday stuff. Okay, the breakout play, if it doesn't give us the pullback scenario, so we're going to be prepared for that one, because that we're just filtering down our ranges. Break below, reclaim, that's our long. Okay, pause there. Once futures open, we normally get that. Otherwise, I'd wait, can break and hold above. That then is the consolidation of key support. Okay, something like this. When it breaks above, holds, a bit of a deviation there, but you get the plan. Shoots up, confirm, rocket up, back up. People are going to be short here. Target, and we'll deal with the second half afterwards. So that is dealing within this range. Is everybody clear? Either the breakout plan, and or the pullback plan, whichever it gives us, we'll get that. Make sense? Everybody clear? So that's naturally put me on a bullish tone for Bitcoin. So I'll do Bitcoin quickly. Now you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. It's just
dead silent.
It's just, you know what it is? It's because you're giving us so much alpha right now. It's got everybody quiet, including myself.
I'm gonna rename this NJ stream. Got the honor of that.
Hard.
NJ stream.
Hard.
Talking the hardest. Yes. I am in a long right now. That's my targets. Yeah. I'm gonna explain this long. I'm gonna claim violation. I mean, most of the profits I've gained this week. This week was really good. Bitcoin literally called the whole leg up. So I'm just using some of those profits for that. Anyways, let's explain this Bitcoin idea now. So having said that, remember what I said about Bitcoin? We need to hold previous all-time high. Now, if we look at this right now, if you look at the weekly candles, right? Look at the weekly candles. It's by the bodies here. Now, if I focus on this, right, a lot of people got short here. So we're going to go left to see the context for going forward, in my opinion. So these small body candles, they were followed by big wicks. So we've already described that we have key SR level, their deviation. And once it's a clean break above, it pushes up. Deviation, some sort of push up, deviation. Okay, that's done. So this now is just, it's not halfway of the week right now. You'll see in a minute why I've taken the long, why I've got my violation there. We've got close. Why is it not going down off after these candles here is the question. This is what leads me to believe there's a big explosive move about to happen. And I based this on not guesswork, but 11 years of seeing this happen. That's what I based on. So people say, oh, squiggly lines. Those squiggly lines don't come from randomness. They come from experience and the same patterns repeating. Hence, as PA traders, you go with patterns, aren't you? Okay, let's carry on. So we do this. What's capping the market? And if you look, the initial high was around here. Okay, so if I mark this level, is there any significance on the lower time frame? So we're establishing a range, and if you look at the lower time frame, okay, we are still range bound really. So if I was to really simplify things, this is our range low here, around that all-time high, and I'm going to go with the conservative range high and say this is our range high, because that's the spike up. There's some consolidation there that capped it here, deviation, resistance, deviation, sell-off. That's our range high. So, and if there's already a range established, why are we trying to outsmart the market and say it's going to go down from here when it's at support? Yes, it will go down maybe, but it doesn't have to go down when you say it goes down. Okay, it'll go down when it's ready. Not only that, this was holding this while ES was pushing down. But you forget, ES was pushing down within the range. Okay? It wasn't pushing down, breaking out trending. If you look on the 1 minute chart, it looks like it's trending, but it's still within that 2021 range. So that, I believe, is why Bitcoin still held. And now that ES coming off of its key range low, right? Once it come off the key range low here, that then enabled, once it does this start pushing up, that then enabled Bitcoin to push up. Well, it's a small push for now, but everything starts small before it builds up. And by the time you finish saying your tweet, it's only a 1% move, it's already done 10%. And then you're talking, and then it's too late to tweet it, and you look like a dickhead. So, having said that, we will anticipate, we won't anticipate, but that's our range high. What I would anticipate is a mid-range move, because I still believe ES pushes up until proven otherwise. So that would be my next objective. Now, the key thing is it going to be a basic retest? We can consider that as a range high, or we can also consider this as a SR level. So what I will call this is like a deviation zone. What do I mean by deviation zone? When it came down, that was the initial low, consolidation, breakdown, retest, deviation, then the sell-off. Resistance, sell-off. Deviation, sell-off. Resistance, sell-off. It deviated, found a bit of support, sell-off, resistance. I believe this is the true support area. If for a shallow pullback, trend continuation. Because when the market's going to continue on, so say it's this, consolidation, when it breaks out, it sometimes does that, but a lot of the times it does that. It doesn't exactly retest, and then later on it may come back down. Okay? So keep that in mind. 1 second, got a text message. Oh, somebody's watching the stream on my TV upstairs. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Why wouldn't they, bro? Need to learn. Need to see what these.
And I was on TV. See, I don't watch TV. I'm not a TV guy. I actually don't watch TV. I don't need to. I'm on the charts all day. But
when I come over to yours, we're gonna get you a.
Wifey bought the TV. Well, in my other place, we have many places, as you know, Naz.
Yeah.
One of the spots, I didn't have one for years here. Actually, didn't have one for 2 years here.
We need to get you a fat OLED in the room, bro. A proper fat OLED with a.
I think it's one of those OLED one, man. I got that one. I could stream porn on there and everything.
Oh,
I didn't even know that existed. That's how back behind I am. I didn't know I could stream porn on there, fam. But anyways, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna test it out.
100. I'll back it.
Yeah, back it. Come when you come down here. Then we go for lobster. We eat the oysters. We get that, we get
some lobster. I'm down.
Oysters. We have big oysters. Yeah, get that zinc levels up and everything.
Yeah, gee.
anyways, we're getting sidetracked here. So let's carry on now. What we got here is it's going to turn. I believe it's going to be from here. Now I'll accept being wrong, and I'm going to mark out my wrong scenarios in a minute. So now that I've set the context, does that make sense as to why I believe at least towards here? And just like with Bitcoin, if it clearly smashed above and holds above here, then we go towards there. Like here, that was resistance till proven otherwise. And then when it smashed above, then it went there. When it deviated, it got back above, then it went there. Okay, that was a deviation, but we'll anticipate if it breaks and holds above. But after such a long consolidation, which is longer than this, I would anticipate a much better breakout if it's going to go up. So until proven wrong, I must go with the long side, short term within the range. Okay. Is Bitcoin moving? I don't know. It's moving. That's nice. Okay, Asian Quant has nailed this again. Asian Quant near 19k. Asian Quant actually got on board down here. Right, he blindly bought to mid range, and then he added there 2193. But that's when I posted it. But anyways, let's carry on now. So what we've got here going on is the last week's range is going to be this week's range is going to be pivotal for us. So I've set the context for you guys. Everybody clear with that? Yes, good. Okay, so what we do now is this is where you start to. It's a more entry technique I'm going over now. So your paid group leader will update you on this later on today. So when he's watching the stream right now, he's not going to comment and he's never going to like the video, but he's going to watch the video. I know they come to my group, they live stream, they watch it, they stay quiet, and then they go post it and they say, I said so shit. But he's copying my stuff. I don't get it. He's copying my stuff. But literally, and then those trolls that come off me hard, and a defense mechanism, go after the shitty groups and become friends with them. But those that you copy the stuff of, attack them.
It's not. It's not.
Of course, it's not money fucking fake ass motherfuckers. And one's got a group right now, which I know about. He's literally sharing the signals.
bro.
He's changing the colors around, changing signals. I'm onto him anyway, but yeah.
It's mad because I was on Twitter. I've been on Twitter for like 6 years now, bro. I've been around. I've been active. You know, XO will tell you I've been fully active, and I'm telling you, ranges and the style of trading that you do wasn't adopted until you fully came into the space. Now, I'm not giving you all the clout completely. What I'm saying is that you kind of partially set the trend. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these paid group leaders now, especially ones that have started groups in the last year or so, they're all look exactly the same as
Of course they do, fuck. It's
you
all
know what
good
I'm
though.
saying?
So good, so good. But they
Ironic.
were saying
Yeah.
but I don't like they block me in the comment, or if they were in my group, they used to follow me, ask questions. I've still got the DMs from. All I want to say is, if you're here right now, I've got all your DMs.
Yeah.
When you were up my ass, asking me what do I do here. I'm struggling. I've just started trading. 6 months in, you got your own group. That's fine. But don't forget, I got your DMs. Don't
I
forget
got
that.
your
I
DMs,
might be a
G.
dickhead one day. I might get like 4 lines down and start screenshotting, posting. I don't know. I don't know myself. I'm volatile. I can do anything. I don't even know what I'm going to do next hour. But yeah, let's
It's not a
continue.
happy Friday for everyone. But that paid group leader right now is shitting himself, bro. I'm telling you. He's in
Yeah.
the chat right now shitting himself.
Send
He
10
may have
BTC and I won't expose you. Send 10 BTC.
wait,
Let's go.
hold on. You might have unliked the stream, fam. Hey, make sure you
Oh
lot are
yeah,
liking
he's
the
just on
stream.
like the stream, fam. The dickhead. Now fuck his like, bro. Probably like we don't want the like anyway, fam. Yo, get the 300 likes, fam. Come.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
let's do
continue
it.
now. So
Yeah.
entry technique, one of the most important things now. We know. Hang on, this is BitMEX, right? Yeah. We'll go back. Oh yeah, here it is. So we've got the brown level being previous all-time high, and then we've got the gray level mid-range for the week. Now look at the price action. Study this. This is how you sort of can predict where the high is going to be sometimes when they get the consolidation for the second leg. From like here, what I usually do, I get the midpoint from there, you can extrapolate it, you get that. But look where's finding support, a previous area. The nature of a breakout trade doesn't necessarily mean it has to retest that. And the reason also for that, for those saying these are inefficient moves, yes, but for later on, how many times do you reach target and you fill those inefficient moves in? Not only that, these price levels have already been traded many, many times. So they don't have to fill it in. Okay? XO still alive is coming after me once I'm done. He's dealing with the British pound right now. So we've got the mid-range there. So this is where I took the long. As opposed to XO, when that's when Asian Quant took the long. And then you know you're wrong, you cut in a clean break below that. Okay? And that's simple idea, because if it goes below that, probability wise, we flip. That's going to be a shorting opportunity, and most likely we'll run the low of the week then. So clean break below that, unless they do a deeper stop run and then reject. Okay, I'll cut the short, I'll take another loss, and I'll look for long, or I'll just step back. But by default, following the system says clean break below here, that's a short signal. So by default, that's a long to prove it otherwise. You with me? Okay. Now for those that want to wait for more confirmation, what we do is we wait. Say you enter a small size tester position. One, it might just rock you up right now. You miss it, and it is where it is. So, yeah, I get accused of forcing the long trade. Shall we pump something? I'm in the mood to pump something. No, I'm only joking. Relax. Dickheads. Okay, so what we got here is support. We've got a nice little trend line warning. Okay. And maybe a little pullback. Reclaim, hold. Who's going to be sweating at this point? These motherfuckers here. If the breakout, the context, see, if this was in a bearish environment, I would be targeting here and saying possible either swing failure, drop, or drop. That same pattern, the context is different. That's why I went over the context. ES context, the bigger picture view of this, Bitcoin context, which means that same pattern makes me believe we go here instead of following this. See the difference? Same pattern, patterns on its own mean nothing. But the context is what brings it together. Does that make sense? Now, I could be wrong. It could go down, but I'm still going to be targeting here. Right? As a day trade target, at least. I could take some off. I can put my stops at break even. Why? Because I know how to get back in. So how I'm going to get back in then? Actually, fam, let me just like draw proper lines and shit, innit? So we've got this here. Because we see if this fails next stream. Maybe come on your stream next week or something.
Yeah, bro, 100, man. Good girth on those.
So,
on those
so what we
lines
do
as
is,
well.
see, we will save this, right? We'll see our price unfolded. You understand? So we save that, and then, so we'll save this as a pivot level as well. Okay, there. That's like a, more or less, is that a midpoint? More near midpoint for that. So this is the plan. So we go there, We target day traders towards there. If it takes off further, it takes off further. We then got another trade set up. If it turns and we take profit, that's the midpoint of that. That then becomes the deviation. Long trigger, separate trade or compounding. We smash towards here. And then we should, I mean, I'm the eyeballing 21.5k. Why? Because I can. But just a random level, not random level, but there's significance behind that. And let's go over the significance behind it. Let's not take shortcuts. Oopsie daisy. Yes. Let's take significance, meaning, reasoning, whatever. We get this. And what we're going to look at is this. See this here? That was a key pivot around there. No. So I'm going to lean in towards a more conservative approach there. So if I were to remove the girth and just round number it to, maybe give or take $50 here and there. Nobody's going to cry like a bitch there. But see that there? So what we've got, and not only that, that's the 127.2 extension of this range for the confluence. So what we've got here is resistance, SR, resistance. That's still a range. That's still a pivotal level. But there's a word for that. I don't know. The point of control, whatever. Resistance there, resistance there. We'd anticipate resistance there. Now, I said possibly towards here. Why there? Because if I clean this chart up and go to the monthly, we've taken our previous month's low. Logically, if we're going to be range bound, okay, we have taken that out. It's a low time frame. Stocks can be resting there, then aren't they? From a monthly perspective, that's where the big stops are resting. When I say bear market rally, we're hunting these stops, the little 5-minute level stops. These are the stops to hunt, okay, and then whack it lower. But whether that happens or not, it doesn't matter. But it's an objective to reach for or to keep an eye on. So let's mark our last month's high as well. So if we mark that out, we now get another range, okay? So we got that there, and I'm going to go to my other chart for that. But that's an objective to reach for. So what we do is we target there. Now, sometimes Bitcoin being Bitcoin, if it really takes off, okay, if it does a motherfucker of a move, it could easily get there straight away. Have you seen those 5-10k candles it does? There's no reason why you can't do that. That's a stopper. That would be bear market rally written all over. However, say we come into here, and there, most likely there's going to be some sort of congestion there. Now, we know that's the initial week's high. Well, it's a post pullback that's happened. So if it consolidates here, then breakout, key SR level, breakout, retest long, breakout, retest. There's a reason why we could target there for previous month's high. So even if we got out there, but we know how to get back in. So we still continue the range. This way of trading for me works. Why? Because it gives me peace of mind of banking profits. You think I did a bank here? I banked here all along. I took 2 day trades here that trailed me out. Why? Because it was overextended and the probability of pullback was high. So I have few stops to break even. But once it did this move, now I feel more comfortable holding without trading my stops too tight because it's done so much. So at that point, that will be the next play. And technically, I'm still holding a swing position, but I'm not round tripping. Okay, so if I didn't take profits, I said if you looked at with the charts I showed with Excel, I said 20.5k is first objective, which is around here. 21k was second to the tick. Now I banked those. I've got a small position left, but I'm not round tripping the whole position. Imagine I held that all the way back down. That's a significant. That's near $1,000 giving back. What the fuck? But if I had a plan to get back in, where either it broke above here and held, okay, it's as if I never got out, or a pullback, a better price. So I've ended up being better positioned for somebody who's holding one position on a swing trade. Why? The key thing is plan to get back in. How do you get back in? But your account only goes with profit taking, and that's it. I'm done.
Amazing. And I guess it shows as well. Like if there's any what's going on there? If there's anything anybody can take from this, I guess it's the importance of level to level. So you were saying just there, SC, just now, you were saying, obviously you took profits at your key level, and as soon as you did, all you had to do was wait for the next plan to unfold. And I guess it comes down to patience and discipline to do that. I know a lot of people are focused on these lower time frame trades right now, but majority of the people don't have the discipline in order to do it. That said, though, amazing stuff. XO, how do you feel about everything that SC said so far in terms of, potentially going a little bit higher? Are you positioning for shorts? Are you looking to short higher up, or are you looking to position in now? Now would be a great time to see where you're sort of looking at in terms of the market. And also as well, SC, thank you for your detailed analysis, man. Amazing stuff as usual.
Thank you, my bro. I'm gonna be remotely silent, okay? 'Cause I got a few things out to sort
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
But
no
I'll
problem,
be
no
watching.
problem. XO man, XO. It's good to have you on, XO man. Let's
Thank you,
talk
man.
a little bit. Let's talk. I know a lot of people here have been waiting for you to say something. You know, so how are you feeling at the moment about the market? You know, especially given everything that SC said over the last half an hour.
Not gonna lie, bro. I'm feeling shit.
Oh,
It's Friday, man. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's no. In all honesty, look, my whole mindset has changed. It's Q4. You know, we're heading to the end of October. All my trades have been very short time frame. So it's for me, it's essentially the fact where, you know, I think these are very difficult markets to trade. I'd be very surprised, you know, if the majority are actually doing well. But it wouldn't surprise me if they're getting chopped up. You know, it's a very whippy market out there. So really, you have to understand the context of price, what's happening out there. We're not in a trending market. The only market that's trending is FX, and that's kind of where some of my attention has been. I just don't happen to talk much about FX because nobody on my Twitter feed really gives a fuck about FX trades anyway. So it's that's primarily where I've been. Traded some ES as well. Equities are short today at 30, just short of 39, closed it yesterday. I don't know. Bitcoin, I haven't really taken many trades on Bitcoin. I think I had my first Bitcoin trade yesterday, first one in 7 weeks. You know, I'm too busy fucking about with Sandeep from Matic. So
yeah,
you know,
you know what I've
it's all good.
seen you've been absolutely nailing the Matic trades, man. What is it? Just out of interest, what is it about that chart that makes you nail it so well? You know, because obviously you can trade any chart, but when it comes to Matic in specific, I mean, I've known you for a number of years now. I've never seen you trade a chart quite like Matic.
It's quite simple. We're just in a macro range, like 3 months, you know, from July all the way to current day. So the big plays for me come off the range highs and the range lows. But in between, I trade 1 hour ranges as well, or 15-minute ranges, or 4 hour ranges where I can find them. And that's it, really. It's just more of basics of supply and demand price action with timing it with some of the Bitcoin moves as well. So it's been very, very clean price action. And at the end of the day, you know, I find it quite hilarious when people say, you know, why you're trying to short Matic, it's technically good and this and that. It's like I couldn't practically care how good Matic is. This isn't a bull market. I'm just here to fucking take a trade. And it doesn't irritate me. I understand where people are coming from, you know, but my question to those guys is, why don't you go log off crypto, go to the FX charts? How about you trade some fucking GBP USD and tell me if you're in it for the tech or not? Are you there to essentially trade price? Do you care whether it goes up or down, or you just want to see volatility? You just want to see price go up or down to take a trade? And that's all it is with Matic. Remove the ticker. Don't even look at the ticker. Look at the chart. Look at what price action is doing, and just trade the fucker. That's it. No emotions. No need to upset anybody. I think I just do it for the sake of taking the piss out of you know, just the Matic back holders. I don't know where it is. Every so often, I cycle through a different coin. Last year, I did add it, Cardano shit down on. We troll the fuck out of it. We smashed that. We did Phantom. We did AVAX. Matic, you know, it's Matic's my current favorite. It is what it is.
All right, let me ask you a question. Let me spin it and ask you a question. All right. This is the scenario, yeah? Market's bottomed out completely. Matic is at like 15 cents or 20 cents.
Yeah.
We've been accumulating for like 8 months now, and we're looking to see, like, are we going to start breaking out? We've got bullish news on the horizon. Markets, we're seeing a little pivot in the markets. We're seeing some more bullish momentum coming up in the traditional markets. If you had to pick, I don't know, 3 or 4 altcoins that you'd long, would Matic be one of them, considering how low the price had gone?
Yeah, it actually would be. If the risk to reward is aromatic, I'll take it. I don't give a fuck if I can put money on it and it's gonna give me 2-3x, why not?
Gangster.
Fuck? Yeah, I couldn't care. As long as it goes up or down, I don't care, man. It's a pro. I'm not married to any of these shit coins. I think there's a time and place to marry shit coins. I'll give you some classic examples. I think you remember this back in 2017. I bought BNB. I bought BNB at 16 cents, and I bought fucking 4K worth of BNB, which is probably worth, like, you know, it was about 20,000 BNB, which in today's value, I mean, I don't even know what the price of BNB is. It's 287. So you do the maths. $287 times by 20,000. There's at least several $1 million there that I've missed out on. But it is what it is. You know, who was to know back then that BNB was going to go from fucking 16 cents to 600. You know, I'm content. I'm happy. I don't look back in life and think, oh shit, I wish I could have, should have. You just look at what's ahead of you and plan for the future. And you know what it is, NJ? Look, you've known me since 2017, right? You've seen how well we do in altcoins on the way up. We smashed it in 2017, but then we got fucked on the way down in 2018. We learned our lessons. And, you know, one of the first things I remember saying to you back in late April 2021 was get the fuck out of the markets. It's going to go to shit.
You know what? I've got to bring that up. I've got to bring that. Guys, in the chat, everybody in the chat, listen to this. Imagine one more scenario. You wake up in the morning. It's a blissful day. It's bull market. You're chilling. You're enjoying yourself. You log on your Twitter account and you see just a little pop-up notification on the messages. You're like, who's messaging me? I click on the message. I see XO. There's no salam, hello, nothing. It's, yo, NJ, get the fuck out the market ASAP.
Yeah.
No time to respond or nothing. XO literally called the top and he came and told me, but you know, I took some losses on the way down. I did take some losses on the way down. I have to admit, I didn't cash out on everything, but I got out enough. It was a good bull market. And I really think we're going to smash the next one too. All of us here in the chat. Make sure you are liking the video, by the way. Do subscribe. We are on our way to 5,000 subscribers. So while XO and SC have kindly come on today to do all of this stuff for us, let's get those numbers up. There's over 500 of us here. Can we get the likes up? And can we get the subscriber count to nearly 5,000 if possible? All right. I'll leave it to you guys. Cheers.
Yeah, I think, NJ, look, at the end of the day, it's like when you've got to look at the context of price, right? And for me, this is look, very simply, and you can probably apply the same concepts to Bitcoin. If you've got a base here, right? This is your price action base. Price breaks out the base. It pushes up. There's your first leg. You're going to get eager shorters trying to short the shit out of this because all they're conditioned to is just let me fade the first break out of the range. So they got all these shorts building up. You know, longs are starting to take profit. You can see some sort of pullback. They get pushed. These start cascading. That's your second leg higher. Then you get another shallow pullback. Everybody now wants to long this. It doesn't always come. And what happens? Price pops another leg up. Shorts get fucked over again. Now, when you look at this to me is a type of move that I like to see. So already we've had one move here, right? We've had some form of consolidation, no deep pullback. Shorts got fucked. We've had a second rip up. No real pullback again, a very shallow pullback. Shorts got fucked again. We've had 1, 2, 3 legs to the upside. It's not a 3 drives pattern, but this is what I love about these types of price action, because when you get these types of moves, it's like you got to question yourself. If this is number 1, this is leg number 2, you get a shallow pullback, and then number 3, look at where the origin of the move was, and look at where we are now. So really the probability for upside at this point is very, very low. Yes, you could long this, but you know you're taking a very high risk trade, and is it worth the risk to reward? Whereas if you get like some form of low time frame distribution or prices into a supply zone or very close by, and it just falls short or tags it, doesn't over under, there's your short trigger. You're looking to short it all the way back down to at least feel some of this inefficiency. So that's kind of what I look for in price action trading. And it's no different whether it's a 5-minute chart, a 1-hour chart. And if you look at this, the whole context of the move here, at least from back in, back end of 2021, the early open, there's a move up. Look, there's that one leg consolidation. Everybody's waiting for a pullback here. Doesn't come. Second leg, no real deep pullback. Third leg, this is the deviation. And we're in a range. You want to trade it within the range, and once it breaks out of the range, it's going to go to the other side of the range. And this is exactly where I said to you, get the fuck out of the market. As soon as I saw the deviation of the highs, GTFO, the rest is history. And you can see we just break down. And the same happened again. We had, look at the origin, consolidation here, leg up, second origin of the move, higher leg up. It's 1, 2 drives. So really the shorting was favoring once we lost or printed a deviation, got back below. So look, ultimately, I think as when you look at the charts, and I look at Bitcoin here, it's I'm not bearish, and I keep saying this on my streams. Don't confuse me for being bearish. There's the time to be bearish was at 63k, below 60k, 55, 40, 30. That's when I was vocally bearish and talked about aggressively shorting the market. But for me, the word that I like to use is defensive and aggressive. When you're looking to trade the market or essentially invest in the market, you have to ask yourself, right? It's like from an investment perspective now, SC's covered the trading setups. I'll cover some of the high time frame stuff. When you look at this chart,
my bro, can I ask one quick question?
Yeah.
So you know when you marked at that base, right, and going out, breaking out above and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're better at that than me because I remember you used to go with the white cuff schematics, but you used to do really well.
Yeah.
Which is something I never used. If you go into like say the H1 2 hour, what would you make of this current range right now? Could you say it's a similar thing? Like we've just had the first breakout of this range, this short consolidation from around 20.
I would, yeah.
2-ish.
It's I think it's more of a continuation than a base, because for me a base is more of a range. And what gives me concern, SC, and this is something that I covered with somebody yesterday actually, was the fact that don't be surprised if we see a pullback into 20.2. This is going to get, it is, SC, how it is. People can think, oh, this is bearish, this is the deviation. Yeah, it could very well be, but in terms of the probability, and you might probably agree with me here, it's that we've ranged here for 40 days. It's how often do you see price coming in? People think this is a deviation. As soon as this reclaims this for career, it could rip even higher.
You see, that's where I mentioned that blue line you got marked up. Yeah. I say in the context of things, that will still be a target, whether I'm expecting a breakout or not. Whether it's a retest to go lower or push up higher, that is still an objective. And then once it gets there, that's the deviation confirmed, like you mentioned.
Yeah,
I would confirm the breakout on that. Yeah, so I just wanted your thoughts on that. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is just a form of consolidation here, but for me the concern is the fact that we're below this range high. And again, if you look at price action here, I think is it a question of where we're playing something similar to what we had here, so kind of like a double top distribution pattern on a lower time frame here, as you can see this whole area. I think is that what we're going to get once again? People are going to try to long this, and then is it going to be met with resistance, or is it going to be a swing fail out of these highs? Because I think like if we took out these highs here and looking at the order flow on the lower time frames, and there's a lot of like breakout traders trapped here, there's a lot of passive short sellers who are absorbing this, and then we get back under, are we going to get a nasty unwind all the way back down? And at that point, it's just basics, isn't it? You're back inside the range for a second time. And something that you've always taught me, is the fact that look, if you get above this range high here, right, it should in theory hold to go higher. But if we fuck about and we get back below, that increases the probability now that we've had one attempt to get inside. We couldn't. Shorts got fucked to whoever shorted here. We've ripped back up again, but to lose it a second time increases the probability that we now go much lower down. And I think that's what I'm looking for. I just don't like the idea of longing this, because one, it's Friday. Two, I've got Friday prayers. Three, I'm going to be chilling out with family. And four, fuck trading on Fridays. It's not something that I do anymore. So, but I get exactly where you're coming from. Like, I'm still in my Bitcoin short from 20.9, and what I'm thinking here, I was actually very, very tempted to open up a long here just to hedge out, but then I just thought, fuck it is what it is. I'm gonna hold on to
my more or less like my long there is just a quick one. I mean, if I'm wrong, like I said, below where that low is today is intrigue mid range. If that gets cracked, I'm shorting it back to low of the week. Yeah, so I'm going to be quick to cut the long there.
Yeah, because you got all this inefficiency, haven't you? This is a nasty short squeeze up, as far as I'm concerned. A lot of
I think this time around, if it goes, I don't think it'll stop there. I think it'll take out 18k.
Yeah, I think it does
from
as
here.
well.
So this is why for me, it's going to go up from here. So it's worth the punt long. But if wrong, I'm gonna short that fucker towards 18.
Yeah, and one of the things is actually like you've known me since 2018, and one of my favorite indicators is I talk about price action, supply and demand trading with using oscillators to increase the probability of being right. And this goes against my rules. That's why I don't want to be aggressively long in this. I mean, for anybody who's watching this, there's no swing long to be had here. Why? Because first of all, if you're the weekly oscillator, this has been oscillating at the highs. Price has done fuck all, right? If this was strong, we should have seen this rip much higher at this point in time, just like we did. Yeah,
I agree with you there, but it's just, for me, that particular setup is just one of those rare instances where I break my rules for trend continuation, because when you get those rips. See, in the market, the majority of the time, the markets don't trade the way you described it. But every now and again, you get a crazy rip out of nowhere.
You're right.
If I'm correct, it's got to be from here, that crazy rip, because every condition has been met. But if it's not, you got to be really quick to cut the short. So the safer option is what you're suggesting for majority.
Yeah, you're right. And I think the key thing to remember here is that people confuse. It's very easily to confuse. Like, you've been quite bullish on Bitcoin over the last few weeks, but they don't realize what context you're talking about and what context I'm talking about. I'm talking about days and weeks in terms of trading setups. You're talking about a 15-minute, a 1 hour range.
Mine's just a day trade. Mine's just a day trade.
And I think that's where a lot of the confusion is. That's why I hate the word bullish or bearish, and that's why over my streams I talk about the fact that I'm very defensive. Defensive means in the sense where I do believe that the markets are in a period of concern in terms of like I don't really see the opportunity to invest in Bitcoin. I'm not talking about trading, but purely from an investment perspective. So my concern here is from the higher time frame, and talking about one thing I've done really well. And if you look at the line chart, nobody can say to me, XO, why don't you ever long? I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to long here? You know, essentially, as a high time frame trader, what do I long? You've had one bull market move up here, and fuck all since then. And yes, you can have day trades, you know, but I'm just more talking about from a high time frame where I really like to latch onto some of the bigger swings and really floor the fuck out of it. But you know, ultimately, I think what matters to me the most here, when you look at the high time frame Bitcoin picture, when you look at the weekly stock is pretty much oscillating at the highs. There's no real drive just yet. Yes, we could tag 22, 23, 24, because at the end of the day, look, we are still in a range, right? And that's it. Until the range is resolved and we pick a direction, you know, the last thing you want to do is become ultra bearish here at the lows at 18, 19K. What you really want to do is define, what you want to do is define short entries from where you think there's going to be a liquidity run or stops are getting taken, or we've had, you know, a push higher up without any real pullback, but we've got some form of pullback. But we'll see what happens. And ultimately, the other thing that really concerns me is, again, if you just look at the EMAs on the 12 and the 21, it's so fucking simple, bro. It's like, you know, from an investment perspective, this has literally outtraded some of the so-called high IQ club VC funds, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Yet they fail to recognize the macro conditions that we're in. And they've also failed to recognize, you know, the simplicity of a moving average, where it clearly illustrates the momentum is to the downside. It's like when people use moving averages, and I keep saying this time and time again, there's three things or three aspects that you want to look at. So one, you know, can we use it as support? Two, trajectory. Look at the gradient. Look at the momentum and the trajectory of the moving average. This is not something that you want to counter trend trade against. Just as we did on the way up, why was anybody shorting this? I took some shorts, you know, to hedge out where I thought, okay, prices are resistance. I want to get some short covers. Just get some shorts to cover my spot bag in case price does shit the bed, because we were so extended here. But just on the way down, look at the 12 and the 21, and I made a point about it yesterday. We've only had one weekly close above the 12.21 in 2022. So, and the third aspect here is that in a bull market, you need to see these consolidation ranges being established, where once you get the range being established on the higher time frame, you'll see the distance between the bands converge and there'll be a compression in price. That's when you know, okay, there's a fairly decent chance now that we're building a base here. Personally, I'm not convinced it's here. I think there's quite a possibility when you look at the log chart. When I look at this and I look at price action, for some reason, SC, I just think, you know, we've got this level of support. We break below here in the next 6 months. This, to me, is just going to be a very, very fantastic area.
I agree with you there. And I think one point to add to that is, you see, when I'm going for the trade idea, is that the only information I'm using? Yeah. See, when you say build the base, if I was to go on purely Bitcoin alone, I wouldn't have the confidence to even go long there, or even the later day trades there. But I'm basing that off of the confluencing factor of ES as well.
Absolutely.
So I think if you look at that context-wise, say, okay, if you believe for a reason that ES is going to at least pop up, then that increases the probability of your Bitcoin long idea. Whereas if ES was shit in the bed, I wouldn't even take that long. So there's the difference where people miss.
You know, as well, just a quick one. You know, SC, your targets for Bitcoin, your higher targets, they kind of line up with the 21 weekly. So it kind of works together. Like, you can't really make this up.
Often my swing shorts and XOs line up nearly exactly the same time. Yeah. The big ones, whereas XOs more involved with the big swings. I do mainly the big swings, but I get bored, so I do the short-term ones as well. So I just trade within the range, both sides. But when the time comes for the major swing short, often like the top of Bitcoin, we both shorted neither the same day or something. I think we shorted it. Yeah, got both confluencing factors.
But the key thing is, at the end of the day, bro, it's like, for me, when I look at the charts, it's just, I'm not trying to look at fractals here or anything, but when I look at the comparisons between 2015, what we have to understand is that this is a bear market. This is the first time that Bitcoin has been in recession. And this, again, I think we're at different wavelengths here, Essie, because I know you're really tuned into the lower time frame trades at the moment. I've probably, as I've said, well documented that I've taken a backseat. I'm just trying to focus more on gym and health and just spend more time with family, because I've had 2 years of a fucking bull market and 1 year of a bear market. It's nice just to step away, spend time. So I think, for people who want to learn how to trade out there, it is really fucking hard when you start off. You consume. It wasn't easy in 2017, 2018, 2019. I was spending 16, 17, 18 hours a day at the desk. Sometimes, you wake up, the first thing you do is look at your phone.
You've earned the right to come to this position. You see what I mean? So I remember when you first started with me, when you were learning, you were on longer than, like, more or less on par with me when I was doing the last in the middle of the night. Yeah. But because you've got to that stage now, you can relax now. Whereas beginning, you want to relax straight away. They don't want to put that work in.
Exactly. And for me, the key thing is like, look, why do this is just my mindset here. Like, we've had such a fantastic run in 2021. I've had a fantastic year shorting. This SEU fucking smashed it on the way down, with the trends. And for me now, the question is, well, look, why am I bashing my brains trying to trade this shit? It's like, just relax, take it easy. Eventually, if we do see the big leg come down, then it's time to pay attention, get ready for the new cycle, possibly heading into 2024 halving, which is obviously around about April, May. So again, when I look at this, I just see this here. This we'll do this in red. That's when the halving is. So from now until then, you've literally got, if we just put this box in here, started from January 23 all the way through to, I don't know, July, August, October, I reckon this is going to be a very, very nice area. I don't know where price is going to be. We'll reassess when we get there, but I think this could be the base somewhere down here. If this breaks down, of course, then this opens the floodgate, because look at all this inefficiency to the left-hand side. Look at the momentum of the moving averages. Look at what we had in 2017, 18. Very, very similar. Notice how every time we got close to the 1221 in terms of a reversion, it was an easy shorting opportunity. Right? Deviation, sell, deviation, sell, deviation, sell. The only person or the only people that I know who nailed this on the way fucking down was SC and Trader Main. I remember them calling this, and I was actually bullish here. Just like everybody, well, majority are fairly bullish here or remain optimistic. I was one of those guys who was bullish here, and then eventually we broke down. I kind of got fucked on the way down. So kind of seeing something similar happen here. And again, when you look over to 2015, 2018, look how many times we truly spend above the 12 and the 21 EMA. Yeah, you had some consolidation here, but once you get below it, look at the trajectory, look at the distance, and it's not until when you get a range over a 6 to 9 month period with range compression and the moving averages. Look at the difference of the moving average. This gradient to this gradient, very much sideways. That is what I want to see for me to say, okay, I think we're in a phase of macro accumulation or reaccumulation, I should say. But right now, I'm not seeing that just yet. But we'll see what happens ultimately. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's inevitable that we will see a second leg down. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is, I'm hoping not fucking waffling on too much, but if you think about everything, if you look at the markets, right? Look at the equities market. All this, if somebody wants to tell me why have we been in a downtrend since the start of the year? Anybody want to take a guess? It's not rocket science. It's actually fairly simple. But what's caused price action to drop off like this? Why do we have, from peak to trough in 2022, a 25% move there? Well, it's the credit cycle, the Fed's monetary policy, the Fed raising rates, central banks raising rates, liquidity becoming tighter, right? So that's had a knock-on effect on price. But what I believe is not happening just yet is the fact that, okay, we've had this leg down in the charts, right? This is the first leg down. You can call it because of the impacts of credit, tight monetary policy, Fed rising rates, dollar going higher, growth slowing down, inflation remaining high. There's real macroeconomic pressures which have cascaded obviously into the Fed monetary policy. But what we haven't seen, in my opinion, is the fact that the consequences or repercussions or the shock events that come or that will come as a second leg down because of recession or recessionary data coming out and really impacting the markets, So I think there's still risk to the downside that all this has been due to the credit markets. And the second aspect of that is, well, once the recession shit kicks off, which, are we in a recession? Are we not? I still believe that we are in a high inflationary environment. I don't think we're in a recessionary environment or a deflationary environment just yet. So, I'll bring up a slide. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Amazing content.
So look, like I said, the business cycle is you got to look at GDP and inflation. Now, these are lagging indicators along with the government policy. And once you get your recession, you get your trough. And that's what I'm looking for across equities, across Bitcoin. I don't think we're there yet. And again, if you look at where we are in a phase of high inflation. Inflation is still very high. Core and PCE is still very high in America. In Europe, CPI tagged 9.9. In UK, inflation tagged 10.1%. Growth is slowing down, without a doubt. We're not contracting yet, because once growth gets below 50 on the PMIs, then you can consider it contraction. So we still have some way to go for growth to go lower down. Once inflation is on the way down and growth is on the way down, that's when you end up in a deflationary regime. And I think the misconception that we're going to see on Twitter is once they start seeing like CPI numbers rolling off, it's time to get bullish. Not necessarily. Just because CPI comes down to 7 or 6 or 6.9 isn't a factor enough that it's time to go aggressively bullish. Because again, I've got the charts here. The data doesn't lie. The green line here, I've covered this on my streams many times. If you look at the growth cycle, which is in green, and equities, every time growth tops out, and what's important is the rate of change or the momentum to the downside. Look at growth falling off a cliff, and look at equities falling back in 2000, 2001. Eventually, growth bottoms, equities forms the bottoms, growth picks up, equities picks up again. Same happened in 2006, 2007, 8. GFC, growth was already slowing down, but equities was rising higher. Why? Well, what matters, like I said, is the rate of change. Then look at the deceleration to the downside in growth, and what does equities do? Falls off a cliff. Same again. Growth topped out in 2021 April. Equities carrying on higher. Once growth really starts falling off a cliff, what happens here? Equities roll over again. So basically, what I need to see on the chart, and we'll probably cover this in more detail on Sunday streams because I'm going to wrap it up now, but you want to see like the deceleration of growth slow down and go sideways, and where the rate of change shows some positivity. But we're nowhere near seeing that positivity yet at all. When you look at the data, when you look at the PMIs, when you look at forward-looking indicators, it's not there yet. So, for me, there's still a long way to go, unfortunately. And we'll just have to see what happens. And like I said, if you look at the rate hike situation, the Fed's funds rate is at 3.25%. The year-end estimates are, people are giving it a 2.6% chance of seeing 4.25, 4.551% chance. So we still have to go another 125, possibly another 150 basis points to kind of get to the rate where what's being priced. And if you look at euro dollar futures, May is pricing in 95.13, so the rate is at 4.87, and December 95.35 on euro dollar futures, so therefore the rate possibly at 4.64. It's between that 4.5, 4.75, which again, if you look at the dollar, if dollar hasn't, I don't think dollar's topped out. I think we've had a pullback, and when we look at the yields, we're looking for the 30-year to, it's had a very extended move, so we do need to see some form of pullback. But eventually, if the Fed's targeting 4.5%, 5%, this still has room to go onto the upside, and I think that's going to go to the upside if you overlay it with dollar, especially if you overlay the 2-year yield with the dollar. You'll kind of see the correlation there.
How high do you think the dollar can go, XO? Because you know what it is. The reason I bring that up is just because obviously you have the same sort of concept in a Bitcoin bull market when Bitcoin is going crazy and everybody's saying, yeah, Bitcoin's never going to go below this price, or Bitcoin's going to never come down again. I feel like we're starting to get that with the dollar. It looks really, really heavy in terms of how much is pushed up with very, very minimal pullbacks. It kind of looks like how Bitcoin was when it was just going up nonstop. So, where could we look for a potential top for the dollar? A potential top, not obviously certainty.
Look, I think there's not really much more upside left on the dollar, if I'm honest with you. When I look at the dollar, and if you look across historically, if you go back to 2001, 2002, here's our distribution range right here. See this on the left-hand side? This was a year long, right? If inflation is a real issue for the Fed, and we already anticipate that they're going to be hiking rates around about 4.5%, maybe 4.75%, and yields are going to push higher, still. Dollar could push higher. And maybe this is the distribution that dollar prints for the next 6 months before we see the big reversal in dollar. And when we do, you'll see SE all over it like a rash. So, it's that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for signs of dollar topping. I don't think it's topped out yet. I don't think rates have topped out yet. I don't think, if you look at the credit cycle, the real rates charts, right? We've covered this many times. There's two reasons why real rates go higher. It's because growth is rising fast, which isn't the case, or because the Fed is going through a phase of QT. When you overlay the dollar chart, hopefully I can do it right this time. There's your correlation. It's when you try to correlate the two together, it's without doubt, it's correlate. Real rates are a driver of dollar going higher. And then when you overlay with equities, or if you just remove the dollar chart, which is the orange one, let's inverse real rates. Right? And then if you add Bitcoin, or equities for that matter, and you go to the weekly, it's evidently clear as far as I'm concerned that, rates does have an impact on price. So you can see how real rates has been leading the market. Look, so real rates is now inverted in black. The orange line is Bitcoin. And you can see how, with real rates, because it's inverted, it's accelerating higher. And that's had an impact on risk on assets. So again, for me, the signs that I'm looking for is just to see real rates start tapering off and cooling down. But that doesn't seem to be the case. And we know that the bond yields are likely to push higher. So, it's still very much for the next 3 to 6 months. The main issue is fighting against inflation, as far as I'm concerned. So
I guess one question I'll ask you then, because I know a lot of people here are listening and a lot of people here find this fascinating, and so do I. It's taken me a long time to get to a stage where I can listen to you talk like this and really understand what you're talking about. But there are a few people here who are much more crypto oriented and probably don't understand everything that you're saying. So if we were to look at it from a higher time frame perspective, from a more bird's eye view, what would you want to see in terms of a macro bottom for Bitcoin? And when would you say, say for instance, you show us what you want to see in terms of a macro bottom for Bitcoin, but then you say, this is where I'd look to potentially start buying and positioning into Bitcoin for another risk on cycle. Is that the right question? I think that's the right
so basically, what am I looking for in terms of seeing a bottom on Bitcoin, essentially?
To get back risk on, but macro.
Oh, very, very simple, man. Really, really simple as far as I'm concerned. I try to give a very simplistic view of the charts and everything that I look at. Look, it's very simple for me. The first aspect that we need to see, look, I think I may have it here. Look, you want to see an easier policy, right? So you want to see lower interest rates and lower discount rates, because when that is the case, which clearly it isn't right now, and with the thought, all this nonsense about the Fed's going to pause, the Fed's going to pivot. They're not going to pause. They're not going to pivot at this side of 2022. And if they do, there's got to be something systemically wrong. So, we are in a phase of tighter policy, which is higher interest rates and higher discount rates, and asset valuations are lower, and they probably will continue lower. I've already covered the fact that we're in a high inflationary environment and growth. So we are going to eventually transition from stagflation into a recession or a deflationary environment before we go from deflation all the way into positive growth, low inflation. Okay. So when you ask me, Exo, what do you need to see? It's quite simple. You want to see not positive growth and low inflation. You don't wait for positive growth and low inflation. You need to see when we go from negative growth and we start transitioning into positive growth and inflation is under control, right? So it's that transitional. And again, I talk about it here. It's about the rate of change of data. What matters, not the current values. Okay, so don't look at GDP that came out, 2 days ago, and it's at 2.4%. That doesn't mean anything, because if you look at the overall rate of change over the last 6 months, it has been declining on the way down. So 1 month isn't going to make a lot of difference. So really, I do believe that we are transitioning from stagflation into deflation, and once we do that, we could see a second leg down on the market. And also, if you look at the yield curve as well, the 2s, 10s, it's kind of inverted heavily, the depth and the duration, but the yield curve often leads the PMI. So the PMIs is kind of like a data which you can get a fair view of what's happening in terms of growth or GDP. But the yield curve leads PMIs by about 6 to 12 months. The yield curve starts pushing up even before the PMIs have bottomed. So again, that's something what I'm looking for. When does the yield curve go back out of inversion? And I think it probably goes back out of inversion when bring up the chart, NG. Just wrap this point. I think the curve, the two goes out of inversion is when Fed's real rates gets to around about 4.5%, maybe 4.75%. And at that point, you should see this start pushing out from negative territory back into positive territory. So you no longer have that curve inversion. But like, again, you guys can just back test the data. Here you've got the curve inversion happening very early. Look at when we got back into positive territory. It was in July 2007. The stock market hadn't crashed then. It was in a downtrend, but it didn't bottom out. It only bottomed out in 2008, 2009. And when you look at the PMIs to see what that tells you, you can see the correlation there. So I'm not saying that I'm using the PMIs, or I'm going to wait for the PMIs, but look, there's a curve inversion before it moved up, but the PMI still trended down because growth fell off a cliff. And again, I've got the chart here somewhere, I think. There you go. Look, back in 2008, 2000, look at growth falling off a cliff. Equities falling off a cliff. Inflation finally falling down. So nothing kills inflation like a recession. And if we are heading into a recession, which we have yet to clearly see because unemployment, rates are fairly low, job openings are fairly tight, the economy is fairly tight in America. The real issue is inflation at the moment. But when does that cascade into the economy? When does that impact people's jobs? When do we see housing markets fall off a cliff and then we really enter a recession? But you have to remember markets are forward looking. So when you see in the media, in the news that, hey, we're in a recession, the bottom's probably already in by then because the market's already aware of the fact that we're in a recession. And what really matters is forward-looking data. So you want to be identifying things like PMIs, looking at the rate of change on the PMIs, backlog of orders, new export orders. All this feeds into the PMIs, which feeds into growth. And if you look at the manufacturing PMI for September, it came in at 50.9. So below 50 is known as contraction in growth. And I think we do eventually head down to around about 35, 40 on the PMI. So we still have some way to go to the downside. And that for that reason, it's difficult for me to really find any risk appetite on Bitcoin just right now. And I think if we do get that second leg down or the big leg down that some of us are looking for, whether it comes is another question, but you have to be prepared for it. That, okay, if we do see that second leg down, I think this could be one of the best buying opportunities on Bitcoin, whether that's 12K, whether it's 14K, I have no idea. And if you just throw up the Bollinger Bands, and this is something that I will be watching very closely, is the weekly Bollinger Bands, because I think this is becoming fascinating. Like, is this a consolidation? Maybe we just get a push down or a deviation out of the Bollinger Bands down to 15K, and that's the bottom. Just like we did on the upside, we see these extreme moves out, and then we get back inside. And finally, when you look at the RSI, there's a lot of people making some noise about, look at the weekly RSI XO, you're not seeing it. Well, I don't know what I'm missing, to be honest with you, because when you look at the charts, what's to say that we can't? Well, this is a trending market, without a doubt. This has been a trend down. What's to say that the RSI cannot continue oscillating higher and Bitcoin prints one more leg down? That would be a beautiful divergence from an RSI perspective. Then we get a bottom, then we get a rip back up. So that's something that I'd be looking for, to see some form of continuation on the weekly RSI. And it can remain oversold longer than you can remain solvent, So if you look at classic examples here, look at this on the trend market, remains overbought for quite some time. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens, Here's another classic example. Highs, there's a divergence, So are we getting that divergence where we eventually see one more leg lower down, consolidation base, and then we can talk about, being bullish on Bitcoin.
XO, unbelievable. We were all speechless when SC did his bit, but then you went and did your bit, and now
I'm almost as good as you, NJ, man. I learned from the best, innit?
Obviously, like, what I'm saying,
the
NJ's here, but like, before I go and embarrass myself.
No, I swear to God, man, you're one of the best Sri Lankan looking guys I've ever seen in my life, man. You're handsome and you're intelligent, bro.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hey, man,
okay. All right, guys.
But big up to my Sri Lankan cricket team, man, and Trader NJ.
Thank you, man. Thank you, big bro. I really appreciate it.
What's your background, Nas?
Me, I'm like you said, I'm Sri Lankan apparently.
You know a bit of French, don't you, man? You know the ladies like a bit of that French accent. Can we hear a bit of French? Come on, man. Bonjour.
No,
Come on, NJ. Blast some French lyrics, man. What's wrong
oh,
with you?
bro,
Man?
come on, man.
Come
You
on,
see
bro.
what
You want me to
see what
fucking
the
come
big
there and
bros
shove
are
it?
doing? You see what the big bros are doing? They're coming on the show and bullying me in front of. Hey, listen, everybody, show me some love, show me some support. Don't let EXO
Show you
beat me
some
up
love,
like
man.
this.
You're fucking French, bro. I'm gonna shove a baguette up your ass, man. Come on, let me hear some
Listen,
French, man.
Chat, help me out, chat. Help me out. I need some support right now. Big bro's on a tantrum. He's
Fam,
going
if you
mad
don't
at me.
speak French, I'm not gonna do alts.
Yeah,
I love.
come on, now. We
Oh,
want to hear some French, man. Creole French. Come on.
all right, a bit of
Give us a
Creole.
lyric.
All right, what do you want me to say?
How do you say buy the dip?
I don't even know. How do you say buy the dip?
You know,
I
guys, you got
can't.
people. I just want to make it clear we've got a fake Sri Lankan on stream, man. He doesn't even know how to say buy the dip in Sri Lankan, man.
Oh my god, you lot are killing me. Wallah, you lot are killing me. All right, look, listen. I'll tell you what. I'll do some Creole, right? I have no idea what to say, but I'll do some. Let me think. Fudge. This is got me on the spot. What shall I say? Kimo Pujiastela. Kitole Mojiastela. That's a good broken down French. He says, "What do you want me to say right now? What a bumper clock do you want me to say right? Ali, Kitole Moje right now." That's a bit of French and English right there.
Actually, dip.
Everyone got quiet. Everyone went quiet. It might, acheter le dip. Buy le dip.
Got you.
Yeah, I'm baffed. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got caught there. I got caught nasty.
That's look, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. If you want to grow your channel, mate, you need to go multinational, multilingual. Not just.
I guess
one,
I need
one language. You got to be bilingual, mate. You know?
Yeah, I guess I could. Well, I mean, you're Asian, right? You're Chinese. Are you able to tell us anything?
Yeah, but I mean, like with a pretty face like yours, I can see you going on fucking Bollywood TV and presenting Bitcoin there one day. You know, in NDTV in 2 years' time, man, at the top of the market.
Oh man, bro, you kill me. Look, listen, seriously, man. I really want to thank you for coming on and dropping the amount of alpha that you did. You know, it was really good. And I think the main thing is, you know, you managed to give us an example of what you're really looking for in terms of a macro bottom, and that's what's difficult to find. You know, I know that's what a lot of these guys really wanted to see. So I really want to thank you, SC, bro. Let me ask you a quick question, if you don't mind. Would it be okay if we could wrap up the stream with maybe a couple of altcoins, maybe Sushi, PYR, INJ, something like that, if that's all right with you?
Let's go.
Yeah. Perfect. EXO, once again, thank you, man. Feel free to chill. Feel free to stick around.
I'm going to shoot off, man. I've got to get ready and dash. But thank you, guys.
No worries.
NJ, good to catch you guys. I'm probably going to be running.
Please catch up later, or is it?
Yeah,
I message later.
Yeah,
we'll catch up later.
I'll be on stream tonight, guys. So at 10 p.m. I'll be 10 p.m. UK time. I'll be running a short live stream. Just
I think that those bots have gone now, aren't they?
Yeah,
Elon opened the account up now. There's bots of account.
Well, Parag's fucked off, so they're probably gone with him as well, innit? So
yeah. Mad though, Elon. I reckon Twitter's going to be big in the next cycle, you know. Twitter's going to be mad. I was saying that earlier on, actually. I was concerned. I was thinking to myself, you know, what would happen if we lost Twitter as part of crypto? Where would everybody in crypto communicate with each other? But now that Elon's bought Twitter, I feel like Twitter's going to be even bigger for the next crypto big party, you know, just in my opinion anyway. But yeah, thank you very much, EXO, man. Really appreciate you. Just a quick one before you go. I like to ask all the guests this right before they leave. Are you going to be back on the NJ show? It's a question for everybody here.
Question is, are you going to come on my show?
Oh,
what are you saying, NJ?
We have to let the chat decide.
NJ will come on my show as well, fam.
We have to let the chat decide. I'm more than honored. What a privilege it would be to come on your shows. Really and truly. Guys, make sure you're following them because I might make an appearance. Make sure you're following TraderSZ's YouTube channel. Make sure you're following TraderXO's YouTube channel. It's simple. Just go into the search, type in TraderSZ or TraderXO. You'll find their channel straight away. EXO is going live tonight. SC, when will your next stream be out of interest?
Probably Monday. And if I can be bothered, I might do something on the weekend, but most likely Monday.
So there you go. Friday, this evening, tonight, EXO will be going live. So make sure you're tuning into that. You must not miss it. And Monday, SC will be going live for Bitcoin for Ledgers, if I'm correct. Is that right?
All right.
So make sure you guys are tuning into that. Right. So SC is going to do some altcoins for us just because he's just super nice to you guys and girls. And EXO, once again, man, thank you very much. And hope to see you soon on the channel.
Safe, guys. Peace out.
Cheers, my bro.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
SC, my bro.
Yes, fam. What one?
Please feel free to share your screen, man.
So, what coins? Should you some Ethereum? We didn't do Ethereum, bro.
Yeah, bro. Listen, the stream is yours, man. It's
So I'll
yours.
do
The more time
Ethereum
we can
and then
get.
we'll pump my bags.
All
Deal?
right, perfect,
Ethereum and pump my bags.
perfect, perfect, perfect.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Giles,
Now
Giles,
I'll
can
take
you
some
share
requests.
Trader SC's?
We'll take some requests. I'm doing requests what people want. I pick two of you. Pick two of them for me. Outside of Ethereum, I'll do that.
Okay, cool. I saw a lot of requests for sushi and PYR, and I think those are the hyped ones at the moment. I think a lot of people want to
Yeah,
know.
and there's a guy in the chat that say, "Why am I shilling PYR resistance?" I
I'm
gave my
shilling
fucking.
PYR.
Let me give you my reason. One, first, I shilled it at 3, right? And after that, it's just adding confidence with the BTC pairing. So I don't know where the fuck that guy came from. This is the problem we have on script. That's a reflection of the guy's trading ability. Because if you don't pay attention to detail or know the full picture, you will fail at trading. That's what I'm trading
100%.
right now. I
Yeah,
mean, come the
100.
fuck on. So let me address that issue first. So PYR, let me bring up the PYR chart. Where the fuck? And if you follow me long enough, you should know exactly where the fuck I got into PYR
Here
without
we
even
go.
questioning it. But let's do it anyway. Come, bring the PYR chart up. So firstly, I shelled PYR firstly when it was at 3 last year. Here, around here or here. It was $3. It went to $50. Okay. Now those same fuckers ain't opening their mouths now. Then it was here, and I took off some here. I said range highs, and I got trailed out the rest. And once I got trailed out, in respect to the trend line, I got back in there. So this is still accumulation phase. So yesterday, when I posted the PYBTC chart, this was breaking the trend line. At the same time, PYR BTC. So something this is good for conservative traders. Either wait for something like this now. Either way, if violation remains the same, or the breakout play higher towards this level there, which is next logical area. Let's go to PYR BTC now, and this is why I believed it was going to take off yesterday until, well, the market pulls back. We can't be 100% correct. PYR BTC pair, look where it's at. PYR BTC is coming off key support level here. So yesterday it was taking off, it hit that support there. Okay, it's retested now, but if it's going to take off, it's going to be towards here now. Zoom out a bit just to get a cleaner picture. That's clear support, isn't it? BTC pair, usually if the BTC pair is going, the USD pair can go with it as well. There. So deviation, reclaim support. Anywhere down here is a buy. Cutting the clean break below here. There. So as that's made it clear, at least pay attention. You know, people come at me, right? At least pay a fucking full attention. Don't just pick and choose your tweets. And if you're not
They can't
aware,
keep up.
if you're not aware of the clean picture, don't even comment them. Like, you talk kind of ignorance. Anyways, okay, let's do that. Let's do Ethereum now. So I'll save this under the NJ stream thing.
I'm honored, bro. I'm honored. Guys, get the chats coming in. Come on. Get the chats coming in. We've got a lot. We've got a lot going on here.
Bro, I said
What's that,
rename, right? It's not renaming to NJ. Why is it not renaming to
NBJ.
Stick on the NJ stream.
Chi.
Good now. Okay, let's move forward now to we'll do Ethereum. So Bitcoin, you know my views. FUSD. So let's look at FUSD. I took a long. I've been vocal about this long here. I got in around just below 13, around here actually, at 1280s. I got at 1424 and the remainder at this target here. And that was in my stream as well. It's on my stream when I did it. So right now, I'm going to show you a little fractal breakout thing. And what I mean by that, remember when I spoke about markets breaking out? So we got the hard consolidation. They don't give that retest. They push up. They push down a bit, but they don't quite retest that, and they continue going up.
Yeah.
This, in my opinion, was a more compressed one, so a bigger blast off happens, in my opinion, if correct on the idea, of course. So we've got to make sure, obviously, the rest of the market's pushing up as well. Let me get my other chart up. Yeah, ES and everything's going to push up. ES is pushing up now, so this should support it. So the question is, similar to Bitcoin, if Bitcoin's going to go up now, this got to go. So if I look historically, right, I'm going to show a fractal. The reason why I show a fractal is where it happened before, and then we can sort of repeat that to where it happens now. And that fractal is, I posted that. 1 second. Yeah. So we've got those lines there, all the way back then. So if I look at that 4-hour chart, then this is a very, very similar fractal we're getting. This is just to illustrate my point of it doesn't have to retest and it could lift off just by minimal pullbacks. Look at this. So we got this there. All right. And this fractal I mentioned at the beginning, before I mentioned in my stream, This is very similar to this what's going on right now. But I don't trade on trackers a lot. It's just Confluence. We got this here now. See the consolidation there. So you know what? I'm gonna do my proper line. So when we zoom in, we can keep the same levels for next week. And Jay, wanna come on, and we can compare if it's really followed or not.
Was that a little hint there? Was that a tiny hint there for the crew?
Oh, they opened my mouth too soon.
Okay. All right. For those who caught it, we'll save these levels for the next stream.
Okay, so that's that there. Now it doesn't have to be identical, but my point being is we had a consolidation phase here. It didn't quite retest it. It flipped it off. Now, in this case, if we look, Bitcoin's already come to the level we want. I'm going to do the same thing I did with Bitcoin. So if I found support here, where's that support? There. So we've got a pivot to work with now. So first, I let it bounce, show me where the support is, and then, okay, I got this to work with. If you look at this box here, this box was resistance there, support there, so it's finding support here. So consolidated rally, this is where usually I look to buy, and I cut it a clean break below here. Simple as that, because I got a clean validation. If I look at intra-week, where was the high of the week? So the beginning of the week was the 24th. Is there a mid-range to work with, like Bitcoin or not? We'll find out now. So we've got low to high of the week. Okay, we've already retested the midpoint earlier on. So if we're going to lift off, in my opinion, it's got to be from around here now. Around this region here. Okay. And I must cut it on a clean break below here. Now, I can wait for confirmation now. So I'll get rid of this. And I put this line on. Because it's the same, more or less the same area of support as Bitcoin, isn't it? But Bitcoin's going to go off. But this is going to go up a lot more or less. But based on the FBTC chart, FBTC, we nailed this. I posted live in real time. Target 1, target 2. FBTC is coming down now after this. Now, if FBTC gets above here and we're still bullish on Bitcoin Ethereum short term, I believe it goes here and then there. At this point, Ethereum USD is the better long. While Bitcoin FBTC looks like it may come down a bit lower towards here, retest, Bitcoin is the better long in the context of both being bullish. But it doesn't mean FUSD can't go up. So, going back to this point, if I want a bit more confirmation or if things might go lower, okay, that's fine. I know where I'm wrong. Clean break below here, because below here, then it's probably going to go a lot lower. So by then, I'm going to probably be out of my Bitcoin long, either stopped out or cut early. So we refine the market right now. So let's split it up and say, okay, what other range do we have to work with short term? And short term, what we have to work with is previous day's ranges. So this, I believe, is Wednesday's range. If I mark out Wednesday's low to high, is there any alpha in that, or is there any confluence I can take from that? Well, that's more or less the midpoint of that. Here. So this is like a 3 drive down pattern. I don't need to go with a 3 drive down. I can just use this confluence. Now, what I've got here is the range. And another idiot that was here that kept saying XO macro. I said, yes, I accept XO's macro. I am also a macro trader. However, when we're trading in a range, macro doesn't mean nothing. It's technical market. Macro fits in at extreme levels, or if it broke down. For some reason, I don't know, man. The fuck, it pisses me off when people don't listen.
Bro, do you know what? I expect every time I come live at one stage in the stream, I'll explain the difference between a trending trader and a range trader. And people,
who do you think XO learns from as well? XO is a macro trader. He's probably one of my best students, and he's learned macro hardcore. I trade for a fucking hedge fund, for God's sake. You think I don't know macro? Fucking hell. Jesus Christ, man. Like, these guys come in. If I start talking about these kind of stuff, half the people here don't know how to apply that to a short-term time frame. Means nothing.
Agreed.
This is why XO made it easy for you guys and said, these are the macro extreme levels. That's when you pay attention. When we're within a range, it means nothing. It's a technical market then. You can't apply, okay, I'm macro bearish, so I'm going to short it down here. Okay, go for it. Fucking idiots. But anyways, let's go down now and say, okay, for more conservative entries, to a 1, 2, 3, took out the stops. This is more refined now, so I can refine that level down further and mark this pre-box out here. Extreme end of the range. Now, even if I break this down, let's look at the magic of this range. This is more intricate stuff, which your paid group leader will tell you later on once he watches this and studies it. So we've got this here. See this here? Right, this is a range, isn't it? Resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support. The flipping point, mean level.
Okay.
Let's extend that across. Lo and behold, to the tick.
Yeah,
there.
Perfect.
That's how you nail it, because that's the mean level. Remember, Naz, when I first told you? Mean levels? Yes. This is what we call the mean level, or the retest of the mean level. So this is where we're going blindly long. Why? Because then we can cut it quick below here. That's the one of the trades we cut quick. Okay? But the risk reward can be great. Now we wait for, that's where we scale in the first position. Now we can go in a bit further and say, okay, 2-2s. Let's refine it a bit more. Let's look for another one. A higher up, reclaimed sort of level. We've got that. Now look at that same thing again. Resistance, support, support, support. If that reclaims and holds, that's when I load up. That's more confirmation. The more levels reclaimed, the sacrifice is the better entry, but who cares? You're speculating on price movement. You're not spot holding. And then we go towards there. If correct in the thesis, we should smack out these guys here. Okay, previous day's highs, because that's where the stops are going to be resting. Look at those clean highs there. For the right, for the taking. Okay, but even if wrong on the idea, and it's going to make a lower high, I can easily take some off here. And if this gets this, my stop's got to break even straight away. So even if I'm wrong on the overall direction, I'm playing the volatility, maybe here as well, for day traders, playing within the Y because we're playing within the range. That would also mean we're back above previous days low, deviation confirmed, target for day traders. And extended targets would obviously then be, so let me add these levels in now. Extended targets would then be, I like this level that hasn't been retested before previously, if correct on the idea, of course, towards here to take out these stops here. So I personally think we get this. I'm wrong below here.
That's a big
target
move.
1, target 2. Yes, but you see what it did the other day? That's easily done.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, initially the targets were like 1400 or something like that, and
that's initial. That's why you play level to level.
Yeah.
And another way of looking at it is like this: deviation, breakout traders or compounding traders or little scalpers from there towards there. That's a separate area. So I've marked out 3 areas to get long. Now, which one suits your trading style? That's up to you. Or scaling bit by bit.
Agreed. SC, that's insane, man. That's insane. So for Ethereum, so we've got your thoughts on Bitcoin. We've got your thoughts on Ethereum. I think we had a look at PYR as well, I believe already.
Yes.
Maybe
sushi,
we could look at sushi. Yeah. Can we look at sushi?
Make sushi simple. Actually, we'll do a fresh one for the NJ show.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, my bro.
We can recap this the way I've done the analysis. That's the reason. So we get sushi. We cap it at sushi. I'm going to
yeah, perfect. That sounds perfect.
Okay, so let's start macro view. Top down for macro view. You what, motherfucker? Doge did really well. You see my Doge long?
Do you know what it is? It's because
the Doge long I took from.
Bro, literally because Elon bought Twitter. Everybody believed.
Yeah, but we were long way before then. Like,
yeah,
this is the thing. This is the thing. Rain by why? Look at that blood.
Nuts. I think Max in the chat.
I call that live day. Remember that there. Target 1, target 2.
You did, yes. And you got Mac looking at it as well, and Mac took that along with you.
Yes, Mac.
Insane. Okay,
so let's do sushi now. So sushi, look at the weekly says it alone. Where that area previously right up, look at that, it's breaking out from. I was calling longs here. I was calling longs here. So you can't say I'm pumping it. Every time I tweet, okay, the bots trigger it, go fuck the bots. I don't give a fuck about the bots. But
nice.
But look at this. Basic, look at that breakout from. We closed above 2, 3, 3. Now it's expanding above. So if it's expanding above, we must stay above a weekly level. Before that, I'm going to mark on monthly levels. So on the monthly basis, right? I mean, let's mark out some monthly levels first, actually. So these are the monthly targets. And look where prices. This is what I mean by high time frame targets and treating a trade differently when it's in a range and treating it differently when it's breaking out. There's 2 different price behaviors. So if you apply the same technique over and over again, you know what? So we'll treat that difficult. That's just on a weekly basis alone. I mean, okay, say this was a 5-minute chart, MJ. Where would be a target? Forget the ticker name. Would this not make sense? That would be the logical target to reach for a short even.
Agreed.
Say looking for short. We just broken out. Okay. If it's a 5-minute chart, I could take a long. I'll cut it below here. And okay, first target's here. That's a conservative target. Second target's there. As simple as that's how I trade a 5-minute chart, 5-minute breakout pattern. I think most of you trade a breakout pattern like that. So why is it different on a weekly now? Because you can't stand the fact that you can't go this straight away, or it's the timing and the speed aspect of it. That's what it is. Okay, let's continue now. So look how we're congesting around those monthly levels. So those 2 blue lines delineate monthly levels. Okay, let's refine this now. It hasn't changed, but it's not pulling back much. Why is it not pulling back? You'll ask a question. Because when it's range bound, it does the deep pullbacks, doesn't it? Look at this. range bound, deep pullback, range bound, deep pullback. Even then, it's not as deep as this one. So when it starts doing shallower pullbacks, hence the higher highs and the weak lines like that, it's not going to give you the pullbacks you want. It's probably going to take off from here. If it's going to take off, most likely, in my opinion. It could pull back, but many times the breakouts don't pull back the way you want it to. Okay, we can overcome that. So the way I overcome that is draw that intra-week range. What range are we within? So we're going to mark out Wednesday high. We'll do that in Girthy Black.
Nice. We'll do that in BBC.
That's BBC, by the way. So I'm going to go Friday prayers for forgiveness.
Yeah.
1.637. Okay, so that's the mid range. Okay, so we've got a short. I mean, even that 1 point. So let's mark the other target as well. There. Okay, so we got Wednesday high, Wednesday's low, Wednesday's mid range. Okay, we're not doing nothing. We're just consolidating. Now, the easy way would be okay. Let's talk about the easy peasy plays, the breakout play. Now, the breakout play would be high probability. Why? Because of the weekly context I went over. Okay. Get your fingers out to Susie. You just want me to put fingers in you, don't you? Okay. Only if you're a woman. If you're not, then do that back. Actually, you might be a gay guy. You might want that as well. Who knows? No disrespect to gays, but assuming that's what you do. So, if I look at it, this is the mid range. It's deviated the mid range for the day. If I was to take a long, okay, I look to cut it below here, shorter within the range. I haven't stopped that yet. I've got my long in, but only because I made shitloads on it, so it's a bit aggressive. But if correct in the idea, I'm gonna play the breakout play. But that's a monthly level, right? Expect some sort of reaction off of that. Otherwise, if the breakout, hold, long, scalp target there, in violation level there, which has the ability to break out towards here if it takes off because it's been consolidating for a few days or above monthly levels, okay? Now, if it breaks out and holds above here, then you can either compound run or wait for the breakout of Wednesday's high range. Wednesday, and play it towards there. And that's even a conservative target. 1.92 on this feed, but 1.9, 1.92, who cares? And that's it. That is it.
Solid.
And obviously, if it breaks below Wednesday's range, okay, I mean, worst case scenario, it could do this, swing failure, and then deviate back up. And if it does deviate back up, you just play it long, level to level, target 1, target 2, target 3, cut it below here. If it's a clean smash, you can look for shorts. We'll see what Bitcoin's doing, or wait for pullback plays. Maybe a run of these lows, deviate back above. We'll see. I don't know yet. I'm going to see what price does. But yeah, for now, it looks legit, decent to me. To prove otherwise.
SC, bro. Amazing stuff, man. Amazing stuff. I really want to say, obviously, thank you for your time. You and XO came on today out of your own time on a Friday, on the last day of the week, to come and share your alpha with these legends right here.
Real one, fam. We do this for family.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm glad to have you and XO in my family, bro. You guys are really, really great guys. I've got nothing but good things to say about you guys. I want to say thank you for the guys in the chat. Let us know. Let us know if you enjoyed this episode. If you're watching this recorded or if you're watching this live, let us know in the comments how you feel about today's episode. And if you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, make sure you are smashing up the likes. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. Takes a second to do. It's for free, you know. And SC, bro, just a quick one. Will you be back on the NJ show anytime soon?
You know, I thought we'll come on next week.
Yeah, next week SC's coming on.
Next week done. But it's not a day, specific day. I don't know
Perfect.
when, but I'll speak to you about that.
Perfect. I think I'm gonna come on. I think I'll come on yours as well. I need to come on yours.
Yeah. We need to come on mine as well, fam. So I've been a bit lackadaisical with mine, as you know, lately. So that's why I've really brought.
No, you're good. You're good.
But,
listen, everybody
from
here.
Next month, from next week or next 2 weeks onwards, I'll get back to routine. You'll be one of the first to come on, fam.
Perfect.
I'm gonna get you next month, hopefully.
Perfect, man. Perfect. I mean, we're not gonna stop anyway. We're not gonna stop. We're gonna be here for this bear market, the next bear market, the bear market. Well, we'll see.
Fam, I gotta shoot off, yeah. But thanks for having me on. I'm gonna catch you soon, inshallah. Take care.
Love my bro, inshallah. Salam, bro. Take care. Thank you very much once again. Well, there you go, everyone. There you go. That's TraderSC and TraderXO special. I told you guys I was bringing something special for you guys towards the end of the week. So look, listen. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. We'll cover more next week. All right. Maybe not Monday. Maybe Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday. We'll see what happens. this bear market is starting to get a bit laggy now, and we're starting to get a little bit slow. Yes, we are in the middle of a bear market rally. It's true we are, but it is getting a little bit slow. But just as I said in the previous episodes, as we get closer to that final bottom, as we get closer to the next bull market, we will be going live multiple times. It could be 5 days a week. It could be 10 times in a week. All right. That's how crazy the bull market is. So share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. That's the most important thing. We're getting closer and closer to that 5,000 subscriber marker. So if you guys can help out, it would be really, really great. And obviously, when you guys do stuff in the comments as well, for instance, if you guys check the links in the description, the Telegram link, the link to Binance referral, if you guys sign up, Binance sees that you guys are enjoying the content and that you guys are interacting. If you like the video, YouTube sees that you guys are interacting and liking the video. And obviously, if you subscribe to the channel, then that just helps. All right. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for your love and for your care and whatever, blah, 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 blah. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. And I'll see you on the next episode of the NJ Show. All right. Take care, everyone. Cheers.